Well, as you're trying to decide whether this program is the right thing for you, it's probably important to understand what's the philosophy behind it. In other words, how do we think recovery happens and how will we help you in your recovery? Probably the best way to think about this is that bottom line statement would be that if I'm going to overcome compulsive behavior, if I'm going to overcome addiction or habitual sexual sin, the only way to do that in a lasting way is if there's transformation that happens in my life so that I am living from a place of, or I have the experience of emotional and spiritual health. Now, what some people do in their experience of, or their attempts to change behavior, is they will focus on implementing strategies like accountability, maybe being in certain accountability groups, certain accountability relationships. Maybe they build certain things into like their computer, having filters and stuff on their computer. And they put together strategies. Oh, and also kind of tied to that for a lot of people it would be, praying more, trying harder, doing things by exerting more effort, I can control this, or I can sort of work this problem. And that also gets related to even attending support groups and stuff. As part of that strategy, I'm doing these things, and by implementing these changes, that will keep me out of trouble. But the reality is, it doesn't work that way. If our primary means of finding recovery is going to be behavior-oriented solutions, then one of two things is going to happen. Either A, I'm going to run out of steam, I'm going to run out of energy, and I'm going to relapse down the line. I'll go back into it because I can only exert that control for so long. Or B, I might exert lots of control and keep myself out of trouble sexually, but because the deeper issues and problems in my life aren't being addressed, they're going to come out in other ways. I'll just transfer that energy into some other addiction or some other kind of unhealthy thing. If my recovery is all about exerting lots of energy to keep me from doing something that I really want to do, or I really feel the craving and the need to do, I'm not going to be able to have successful long-term recovery. The only way I'm going to do that is if something happens in me, there's a transformation that happens so that I'm not needing to do those things. I'm not depending on those things for my life to be okay. So that's the approach in this recovery program. The recovery journey is to help bring about that transformation so that we can move towards a place of greater emotional health in terms of the relationships we have, in terms of just sort of the way we're approaching life, and then our spiritual health, being in a better place in our understanding of our relationship with God and our relationship with the world around us. When I'm in that better place, then I'm not having to fight the constant craving all the time to respond to the sexual temptation. Now, I think the same thing is the case, or the same issue is really important for the spouses of sexual strugglers, because we feel in a way as a spouse of strugglers this powerlessness that this person is doing these things and is so destructive and is so hurtful. But the real issue is, what can I do to be in a place where I'm going to be okay and healthy and growing regardless of what he or she is doing? And so for me, it's really important to just keep working on my emotional and spiritual health. And again, that's the focus of the Recovery Journey program.